How's it going? Ultra Buddies, Durian and Gonkud here for reveal review. This was a big week for Omega in particular, but it's a there's a lot to talk about. So why don't we jump into it? We've got an Omega quad rare, we've got a Valgnus, a new Meteo Kaiju, and we've got a triple rare to go through. So we'll talk about these guys. We'll yap away about this, I'm sure. And then there's some speculation based on these reveals that we can kind of try to talk about how the rest of the set is going to go, and then the rest of the reveals. So let's get to it.
Yep.
I'll just read these two, and then you can read the triple R. Sounds good?
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, so the quad rare Ultraman Omega, it's armed type level 4, which of course means it can't be played as the basic. Let's see if we can make these real nice and big for y'all. There we go. So then quad on play, sticking with the trend, when it enters play, you may put one level 5 kaiju with Meteo and one level 6 kaiju with type Meteo from your discard into your hand. So Mebius is back, baby. It's a big thing. Just getting 2 cards back from the drop. I think they're all 17, 13, 20, so nothing much to say there. The new Meteo Kaiju, very interesting, very scary, is a level 6. I'm sure we'll get the level 5 Meteo type, of course. This one only works on a double, which is important. But when it enters play, if you have a triple or quad Omega, you can give the battle opponent of your Meteo Kaiju or the battle opponent of your Omega BP grade decrease for 1 turn. It is 9, 13, and then 17. The 17 is a really big deal. Not being able to play, only being able to work on a double is also a reasonably big deal. But I'm sure we'll get back to this because there's another Omega card which Gunkin's
a lot of Omega this week. Yep. All right. So this is the new Triple R Omega Trigon armor. We did have some Trigon armors in BP4, but this is our first triple rare one. And with this one, it works on a triple. You may put one level 6 kaiju type with Meteo from your discard area onto play. So it's like a level up onto any kaiju you have. Pretty much this would be a 5-6 thing. If you have a level 5 kaiju on the field, you get a level 6 Meteo kaiju of that same character. Level it up.
Okay, so we can talk about all of it now because it's pretty crazy. Let's talk about the new Valgnus Meteo Kaiju first, because I think the other two maybe depend. I don't know if they depend a bit, but they're easier to talk about together. I feel like the Meteo Kaiju is a little bit easier to talk about by itself. I don't even know where to start. There's like so much to talk about. It's like extra Recunus, right?
Yeah, well, and it's extra Recunus. It also has the BP grade decrease effect, which I think we've decided in many cases is stronger than a BP grade increase, or it depends, but
in general, I think decrease is better. Yeah. The fact that it hits 17 is actually pretty important because you are pretty safe playing a 17 versus like Meteo Kaiju lanes in Omega right now. So it's a 17. Now you can kind of tie those lanes, makes it a lot scarier. Honestly, just having extra mill effects for our BPO4 triple rare Omega, that's always good.
Yeah.
And I think the trickiest part here, right, is, and even without talking about all the effects together and stuff, is we've now got 3 different Meteo Kaiju. We've got 2, another triple rare, a quad rare. How are you going to fit it all in one deck? It's like it already felt like I was I can't fit it all, but now it's like going to be worse.
I think you're definitely going to have a trade-off here. So with this one, it's like a second Recunus. You're doing BP grade, increase, decreases, a lot of power that give you that burst that close the game, catch your opponents off guard. But this has to be a double, which means you have to have level 5 of these guys, which is probably 6 to 8 cards you have to put in your deck. You may have to get rid of Trigon to you trade that consistency of draw power for just more burst, splash.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Just like, I don't need a card. Just let me punch him in the face, you know?
Yep.
And I guess that kind of is a segue into both of these cards, because both of them kind of fulfill this consistency piece in a way that you would be losing by ditching Trigoron.
Yeah.
Because this one lets you put a 6 on top of a 5, so you don't need both pieces in your hand. So if you have a 5 Reckoness, boom, you get a 6 Reckoness. Great.
Yeah.
If you've got this one, you're just going to add your perfect combo for next turn, and then boom, you're ready to go. So yeah, there's a lot.
I mean, this is very interesting if you compare it to the other triple rares. Like Tiga would get you 1 card in hand, which kind of pays for itself. This one's getting you 2 cards in hand, so
yeah,
it's a pretty big increase there.
It is a very, very big deal, I think, getting 2 cards into your hand, because Tiga is one thing where like you're getting a card back from hand, but it's a card that you've already played.
Yep.
So, and you have to make that decision of like, okay, well, do I get a 3 back into my hand because I need the powerful effect this turn, or do I get a 2 back in my hand because that's what I want to play next turn? Omega is really strong because it just gets you your like ideal next turn, assuming you have it in discard. And Omega is a deck that discards a lot, so you probably will have it.
It's definitely going to be scary when you see this one come out, because you know what's going to happen next turn. And sometimes, even if you know they're going to play the 5/6 Reckoness or the other one, not too much you can do to block it. This will be a 20k lane. Reckoness, or that new lane, will probably win itself, and now you're going to have to somehow win all these 2 or 3 other lanes to stay in the game.
Yeah, that is very, very scary for sure. Like, just like you said, you can know it's coming, doesn't mean it's going to be any less hard to deal with. So, man, I think both of us were already pretty scared of Omega just from like the RNG factor.
Yeah.
But like this is going to be so much crazier. I don't know how I'm going to fit everything I want to fit in this deck now, to be honest.
I think you have to, like, if you want to think of it maybe like what we had with BP1 Arc, where there's going to be 2 types of Omega decks, where you might rely a little bit more on Trigoron, drawing cards, maybe play this. Because if you have too many level 3s, right, then you need more level 2s and level 1s, less room for kaijus, and this deck has a lot of really good kaijus to work with.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I can see that. That's a good point. Like with Arc, we had the Galaxy Armor deck and the BPO1 deck, and they kind of felt a little different. I think it's more distinct now. You have Arc ISO for the starter deck. Yep. That feels like a very different deck than Galaxy Armor. They do not mesh very well. So it, like the Trigoron Armor style of Omega might feel very different than I don't know, the Reckoness style.
I mean, you have this.
I'm gonna try to fit everything in, I think.
Yeah, I mean, like the Reckoness Armor takes from like discard to deck. The RRR takes from deck to discard. This one will take discard to on field, and then the other one will do discard to hand. And you could imagine like a perfect scenario where everything funnels into each other, but realistically, I think there's a lot of consistency at stake here with, like, do you want to rely on having the cards you want in your discard pile, or do you want to be able to have like the cards you want like milled? And remember, for some of these new cards, they have to play like this one as a triple, or the new Meteo Kaiju. You have to have a triple or quad out. Quad needs to have already a triple on the field. So if these cards don't come out in the right order, you're kind of screwed. So that's some consistency to consider. With like, it's really strong when everything comes together, but it could be a lot more RNG.
Yeah. It's gonna be it's gonna be such a mess. I think I didn't feel like Tiga and Zero quad rares really made me feel like, oh man, it's gonna be really hard to figure out this deck. Omega feels really hard because now I feel like there's so many I want to play. I'm gonna bring up another card really quick, because when I was thinking about quad rares, I was like, I wonder if this card gets a lot better, and I think it does. So this is a triple Omega. It gives one of your kaiju with media type 3000, because you could use this one as a triple and then bump it to the quad, and you kind of ignore its big major downside, which is that it's a 16,000. And now I think there's even more reason to play it because you have Valkness, which can BP grade down, which also covers for the 16,000.
Yeah.
So you might be able to set up a turn 3 where you're setting up, this triple, bumping like a Valkness in the front lane to a 16, BP grade decreasing in the first lane, and having like a Reckiness or something, 13,000 in the second lane. Like that's a hard thing to deal with.
The more we talk about this, I feel like you can't get rid of Trigron if you're playing this deck, because you need to be able to get the card you need to set up the squad or triple.
Yeah.
So maybe you get rid of Reckiness. Like I don't know. You have to kind of
you got to get rid of something, but I don't know what you get rid of. It's like
I think if you're going to go with quads, you need the card draw like to set up that triple or quad.
I would agree because that's definitely one of the things where like it's going to be so hard. I don't know. Because you could argue that you get the card draw, quote in quotes, from this level 3 and from the quad, so you don't, as long you're fine, like jumping straight to level like 1, 2 levels, skipping the level 1 draws, or just not having a draw level 1 because you'll get the advantage back later as long as you're milling.
Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the other like these effects are letting you get the Meteo Kaiju back in the hand or where you want them.
Yeah,
but there's nothing else that's letting you get the Omegas you need.
That's very true.
To build the quad or the triple.
That gives you the consistency on building the Omegas. So man, it's gonna be tough.
We'll have another Omega week when BP5 comes out.
Yeah, I guess we'll have another Omega week. I think we're gonna have to split that one because we might have very different ideas about how Omega gets played after this set, or very different builds. That's going to be a tough one because, I really liked doing the week themes, but I think especially with Omega, because it was the first one, the build that I played for most of those matches wasn't the build that I ended up being on.
We'll figure out how we sequence Omega week, because there's this will take us the most time, I think.
This is going to take so much time. Yeah. Oh, and like honestly, I feel like they're all going to kind of take a lot of time because the Zero seems to have like a new kind of style as well.
Yes.
Okay.
We will probably split both of these into like there's new Zero and old Zero, and like you splash the quad rare into an old Zero deck build. Can you splash into a new Zero? Same for Omega. Like we're gonna have to think about how we try these decks out.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It'll be fun. So let's talk about, I think I can only talk about how difficult it is going to fit in everything in the Omega deck for so much longer. I will say this design is super cool.
Yes.
It reminds me kind of like a Chinese Three Kingdoms type thing, which I really like.
Yeah, I mean, it has the Phoenix, has a halbard.
The Phoenix, yeah.
It's definitely that Phoenix King, I don't know, type of
style. It's the... I can't remember where it comes from, but it's like the 4 legendary beasts.
Yeah.
It's pretty common. Like we got the Phoenix, and then the red Phoenix, and then Trigeron, I think, is supposed to be the white tiger.
Yeah.
And then Reckiness is the dragon, and the last one is the turtle. So this gets into maybe Omega lore, but it's like, is the turtle going to be a final form, or is the turtle going to be the evil boss kaiju?
I don't know. It could be. I mean, we'll very briefly touch upon Omega because I don't know how much you've been watching, but I think in the opening they show a green for Ayu. So maybe there's a green Meteo Kaiju. The weird funny thing, when they announced a toy for this, there's also like a purple Meteo. It's called like Dark Valganus. Maybe an evil clone, like
the Dark Phoenix. They're taken from Marvel.
So I don't know. There's gonna be a lot of cool. Like, I'm looking forward to this. For context, they're doing Tsuburaya Con this weekend. This is where this. I guess they announced this at the event or pre-event.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
So and they had I think they had Omega go on stage with the new look. So
nice.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit, but I'm definitely behind.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's segue that into new reveals. I think there's a few things we can try to glean from this information, which is that Omega got a triple rare and a quad rare.
The quad
Now
rare.
Zero also had a triple rare and a quad rare.
Tiga is more or less getting a triple rare next week. We've seen the video announcement that there will be new cards to go with the quad rare.
True.
Jeed quad rare. I don't know.
Yeah, so we're 3 for 3 now, where they're paired up. So
Yeah.
I feel like we can assume they're all going to be paired. So I think Geed is going to get a quad rare, and then there's a mysterious fifth ultra that will get both the triple rare and a quad rare. And you were mentioning just before we got on this that might be a little weird if they introduce a new hero, a new ultra, who gets not only a triple rare but also a quad rare at the same time. It would be a little surprising, is all.
It's also weird because if you introduce a new ultra without the quad rare, they're just going to get left in the dust. Kind of like, I mean, X at least had a triple rare.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this set we're going into will have a lot of big mono decks.
Yeah.
And you won't see as many support characters because like Omega, you just can't fit anyone in. Zero, it's really hard to fit anyone else in.
Yeah.
Tiga, I think you can still make some room, but not as much. And then Jeed seems like a very heavy mono Jeed deck. Yeah. So then I don't know. We'll have to see. It'll be very interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I think if I'm thinking off the top of my head about other decks that really like being heavy mono, maybe Decker is one. I think a lot of the things that are, kind of on the top of mind at least, are like forgetting a quad rare and triple rare in this set, or either ones that haven't really got boosts before, or like more iconic ones that, like, maybe you could speak more to this, but like for me, just being introduced like through the card game and stuff, like everyone's like, I like Tiga. Like everyone I talk to is like kind of like from the Tiga era. So like our Tiga Dyna guys are like, Tiga's great, and then like Zero's kind of like the face of it, right? And like Omega's the new one. I don't really know if Geed is like that same level of like iconic, but it feels like the fifth one should also be kind of iconic as one of the first quad rares.
Yeah. So I feel like in terms of iconic, the two that come to mind is Arc, the most recent show and character. Also has a lot of good cards already, but it already has a lot of good cards. The other one that could be is a Belial one, because it would give that kind of kaiju support, and Belial, just like Zero, a lot of forms, a lot of cool things you can do with it.
Yeah.
Besides that, I mean, there are definitely plenty of characters you could throw in. We also, it could be Gaia. So when they announced Rare, they used Gaia as the example of like, it doesn't have to be a final form. Like it's an iconic moment. So you can argue that. But we'll have to see.
They did say Gaia and Galaxy Armor, which makes me think it's not them when they said it, but I guess it could be. I will say I kind of when they announced that it was level 4s, I was kind of like, it can't be Belial anymore because it's not like level 4s. But like technically a level 8 would function the same as a level 4.
8, yeah.
But it could be. I think my pick is probably Arc, just because it's like the most recent show. It feels like Arc also hasn't got support in 2 sets. Like I know.
Well, we just got the starter deck Arc. What are you talking
about? Yeah, okay. That doesn't count. Like I'm talking in main sets. Yeah, I think it would be pretty crazy if Arc got one. That'd be a little too over the top. Maybe the other like thought is maybe it's Mebius, because they got the Transcended, and they're like, I can't have this deck running around with an insane card that lets you pick the quad rare out of your discard, and then so on and so forth.
I would say if they did Arc, I would like it to be a Galaxy Armor Arc support, as opposed to just like more Arc.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Okay, let's move on, get rid of these cards out of the way. But thanks for listening to us yap about Omega and the potential consequences about what the new sets are. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what Zip Piper Zeton Scissors does?
Yeah, so we have a new victory card, level 3, works on doubles or triples, which is a little different than the other ones. A lot of them are single doubles. So this one, if you have 2 or more armed victories, then you can choose one of your Ultra Heroes, and that character will lose and not be able to receive any BP grade decreases, which is a perfect segue right after our Omega, or the Valganist, who does a BP decrease.
Mm-hmm.
So a very good defensive card.
Definitely. So in this case, this card, I think when we saw it was like, I don't know about this. But now, if you see your opponent pull out some Valganist from the discard, and like, I got a 5/6 Valganist ready to go next turn.
Yep.
And now you can try to be like, okay, well, I got this guy. I'm going to counter your play, which is a bit nice.
It is an on play, so the timing of this card is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you kind of just like don't really get any value of it, because it's only these like really bursty turns you see a lot of BP grade decreases. I mean, there are a couple activate based ones, but most of them are kind of on play. Ginga Strirum, the level 3 Ginga, Valganist. What else is there? Like Jugular has some on play ones. So if you can time this right, you can block their push, and then like, you know, a 2/3 Jugular, or sorry, 6/7 is only 12k, I believe. So playing this would beat that.
Very true. Not much else to say. All the victory types are armed so far, at least for level 3. So it's basically like if you have 2 or more, if you have one other 2/3 double victory, you should be good. Okay, let's move on. Pretty simple stuff. Decker single when it enters play. You may give one of your Ultra Hero with type power plus 1000 BP for this turn. It's like okay. The fact that it only works on single is much more awkward than if it was a single or double. I get that you can play it like Decker likes to make his things, but like you play a 9000 that gives plus 1000 somewhere. It's not super compelling. We might have to see just how the rest of the Decker cards show up. For this set,
I mean, it's basically a 10k single, which I believe there are other level 2 Deckers that are already 11k.
Yeah, and then I think everybody got a 12k double.
Yeah,
so single. So it's like, why would you not just use that?
It might be some situational, like you need that tiebreaker with all the new 18ks on the field. Like, well, but that doesn't even bump because that's a
hear me out.
Right?
It's a Decker quad rare with a power type, and you can use this to break the 20 versus 20 lanes.
That could be it, because I looked this up. There aren't a lot of power type Deckers. Like there's the level 3 that gives 1000 on like the adjacent one.
Yeah,
but that's a 16k. I mean, you could use this to break at 17k.
Yeah,
could break a tie, but very situational where it's
not in love with
not
this
yet.
One. We have a new Ultraman Nexus. What does this one do?
Yeah, this one I think is actually pretty interesting. So as a triple, when you have a scene in the scene area, so you have scene control, you can give this character plus 2000. So it becomes a 18k triple when you have scene. Otherwise, it's not a bad stat line. 7, 13, pretty good. You know, good double DP power. But if you have this as a 18k as a triple, and you have Labyrinth out, now you're basically this is like a 20k. You can use that to tie a quad rare or beat any other triple out there.
Yeah, that's very true. The 18,000 is pretty big. This is, I think, I don't know, maybe a little surprisingly good for a rare card for me. Some like rare cards have also obviously been good, but like having 18,000s that are like relatively easy to hit are very strong. Like I think we're still in like generally 17,000 is the number that you want to be at, and if you're at 16,000, you better have a really good effect because you might just give up that lane forever. But then 18,000 still feels like, okay, I'm applying a lot of pressure here because not everything's 18, but we're starting to encroach onto like most of the good cards are 18 as well too. So it's getting a little tricky.
I think this will be an interesting card to put in a Nexus deck because you do need to have control of Scene, which is sometimes easier said than done based on the meta and the matchup. Like Blazar Nexus is a lot of fun to play, a lot of cool things moving around, but you sometimes lack that burst to like take lead and play your Scene. But Tiga Nexus was always pretty good at taking lead, but it's a little hard to get 2 triples out on the field. So there's I think a fine balance to get the most value out of this card, but it's really cool when you have everything set up.
Definitely. Okay, let's move on. We got 2 more. These will go quick. It's a Tiga. It's a level 3, gets power BP grade increase versus power types, 8, 13, 16. And then a Ghoul gets a power hazard type BP grade up. I almost feel like we showed this one last time, but it might have been a different one.
I think it was a different one. It was a level 2 Decker or someone, Dyna. It was level 2 Dyna. I think that got the power hazard.
Did we see? We actually saw both Gaia and a Ghoul in this set now, which it's interesting.
Yeah, we have the Scene. We have the Gaia Ghoul. They haven't gotten too many cards in a while, so it's nice to see them getting something. I mean, we have a level 1 rare, which typically means you'll also get a level 2 and a level 3.
Yeah.
Hopefully, if we get like I really want a level 2 rare a Ghoul. I think level 3 has enough cards, unless you're trying to flip to a Ghoul heavy deck. So getting a really good level 2 one that maybe triggers a bounce or gets you some cards, really solid.
Imagine it's in a Ghoul quad rare.
It could be.
I think it would
be interesting.
It would be very weird if it was that.
I don't think you would, but it'd be funny though. But it would probably be Gaia first. But yeah. If you go back to the Tiga though for one moment, it's a very vanilla type of effect of getting that BP increase against a certain type. But I do think it's really interesting now with the new quad rare, where if you have 1 or 2 of these and this makes its way into discard and you play your quad rare, if you have a double 2/3, sometimes you'd want to put like the uncommon power type that gives like a -1000, really nice. But if they have like a I don't know, a 2/3 power type arc or something, I don't know, some arc or power type double, you can pretty much choose exactly like, oh, okay, let me get my power type bump here, make it 16k. It's maybe something I'd want to play around with, running 1 or 2 of it in a Tiga, mono Tiga type of thing, but still pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see a little bit on this, since we do expect Tiga to get a triple rare. It's going to be hard to find space for everything you want to play, right?
It will be hard to space. This is, if you're going to go mono Tiga, I might look into this a little more. Otherwise, it'll be hard to make the cut.
Yeah. Okay, that's it for us today on the Omega craze for this week.
Yeah.
Oh man, these level 4s are gonna make things weird. But thanks for listening to us yap about Omega, and we'll see you next week for probably Tiga triple rare.
That'll be exciting.
Gonna be crazy. Bye.
Bye.